Have you ever looked at a society that appears perfect from the outside, yet somehow feels empty on the inside? A world where people smile for photos but break down in silence, where success is everywhere yet satisfaction is nowhere. Picture a culture so advanced that it can put rockets into space, yet so fragile that millions feel lonely in a crowd. A place where everyone is chasing a dream, but no one stops to ask who created that dream in the first place. Today, we re-pulling back the curtain on the Western world and exposing the psychological truths hiding beneath the surface. Imagine being trapped in a never-ending cycle of consumption, where the pursuit of happiness is constantly fueled by the latest gadget, the trendiest clothes, and an insatiable desire for more. Imagine waking up every day believing that the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next achievement will finally make you feel complete. Yet somehow, the emptiness only grows. Welcome to the Western world, where the facade of perfection shines brightly on the outside. But the cracks beneath the surface are widening every single day. From toxic beauty standards that erode self-esteem, to a mental health crisis that silently crushes millions, to systemic inequalities that shape lives before they even begin. We are about to peel back the layers and explore the psychological flaws hidden behind the Western dream. And most importantly, we'll explore what these flaws reveal about human nature itself. Because to understand Western society, we must first understand the human mind. Western life has been sold as the global blueprint for success: glittering cities, perfect smiles, fast progress, and individual freedom. But psychology tells a different story. Carl Jung once said, "The most dangerous psychological mistake is the illusion that you have no illusions. And nowhere is this illusion stronger than in cultures where appearance matters more than authenticity, and where self-worth is measured by possessions, productivity, and performance." To understand why Western culture feels so exhausting, so competitive, and so disconnected, we must step into the wiring of the human brain and compare it with how people live, think, behave, and connect in other parts of the world. Let's start with consumerism, the invisible engine driving Western life. In psychology, there's a well-studied phenomenon called the hedonic treadmill. It means no matter how much you buy, you quickly return to the same baseline level of happiness. The new phone excites you for a week, then becomes normal. The new car makes you feel successful for a month, then feels like just another vehicle. The brain adapts instantly. American psychologist Tim Kasser warned, the more people value materialistic goals, the lower their psychological well-being. And we see this everywhere. People chasing things that bring pleasure, not meaning. In many Eastern and collectivist cultures, happiness is found not in things but in social bonds, rituals, and a sense of belonging. In villages across South Asia, Africa, or the Middle East, the joy of a shared meal can outweigh the thrill of a luxury item. Human connection fills the emotional gaps that money never can. But Western societies do not have to remain stuck in materialism. Behavioral scientists suggest small, sustainable habits to break the cycle. Choosing experiences over objects, practicing intentional consumption, replacing impulse buying with gratitude exercises, and designing digital distance days to reduce exposure to ads. A simple shift, such as buying second-hand instead of new, or engaging in community swaps rather than retail shopping, has been shown to increase feelings of agency and control. As psychologist Elizabeth Dunn found in her research, spending money on others rather than on oneself significantly increases happiness. These solutions sound simple, but they are powerful because they shift the brain from craving to connection. Loneliness is one of the biggest psychological wounds of Western life. According to social psychologist Julianne Holt-Lundstad, loneliness is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, and yet it's becoming normal. You can walk through a busy street in London or New York and see hundreds of people, but feel invisible. Western society teaches people to be self-reliant to the point that asking for help feels like weakness. Contrast this with many Asian, Arab, African, and Latin American cultures where community support is instinctive. Neighbors help without being asked, families gather without needing appointments, and emotional sharing is part of everyday life. But loneliness, too, has solutions. Psychologists suggest rebuilding social life intentionally through micro-connections. The small chats with the cashier, the smile to someone on the street, the coffee with a coworker. These tiny interactions strengthen the brain's bonding circuits. Community events, volunteering, neighborhood groups, and shared hobbies restore a sense of belonging. Western societies can learn from cultures where socializing is woven into daily routines. Not a scheduled luxury, but a basic need. Expressing emotions openly, checking on friends regularly, and reducing the stigma around vulnerability are small steps. But they create powerful social transformation. Then we come to beauty standards, one of the most powerful psychological prisons of the modern era. Western media has spent decades promoting a single shape, a single face, a single idea of perfection. Psychologist Brené Brown famously said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." And nowhere is that more visible than on social media. Young people open Instagram or TikTok and instantly compare themselves to edited faces, filtered bodies, and impossible lifestyles. Millions internalize the message, "You're not enough." But psychology offers solutions here as well. Digital literacy programs that teach young people how social media images are manipulated. Policies requiring brands to label edited photos, and campaigns that celebrate diverse body types. Parents and schools can model healthier conversations about beauty, shifting the focus to strengths, character, and kindness. Behavioral psychology suggests replacing negative self-talk with compassionate reframing. Speaking to oneself the way one would speak to a friend. In many non-Western cultures, beauty is diverse by default. Western societies can heal by embracing this diversity and teaching people to see beauty through the lens of humanity, not Photoshop. Systemic inequality, too, has behavioral and policy-based solutions. Equality increases when societies value fairness over competition. Countries with high social trust, such as those in Scandinavia, show that strong welfare systems, progressive taxation, and equal access to healthcare and education lead to happier, healthier populations. Psychologists emphasize the importance of collective empathy, the willingness of a society to understand and uplift those who struggle. Western societies can learn from cultures where community responsibility is a shared duty, where success is collective rather than personal. And then we face the mental health crisis. Depression, anxiety, burnout, emotional numbness, these are not random. They are symptoms of a culture that prioritizes speed over peace, productivity over purpose, and independence over emotional connection. American psychologist Abraham Maslow once wrote, "If you plan on being anything less than you are capable of being, you will probably be unhappy all the days of your life. But the good news is, mental well-being can be restored by integrating mindfulness into schools and workplaces, encouraging breaks instead of overtime, redefining productivity to include rest, and normalizing therapy as a tool for growth, not weakness." Many cultures outside the West naturally incorporate slow living. Afternoon rests, prayer breaks, tea gatherings, evening walks, rituals that calm the nervous system and regulate emotions. The West can borrow these rhythms to rebalance life. Even simple habits like spending time in nature, reducing screen time before bed, and practicing gratitude journaling are scientifically proven to reduce stress. Examples from daily life make the difference even clearer. A Western office worker eating lunch alone at his desk can choose to join a weekly lunch group. A teenager trapped in online comparison can start a no-filter day with friends. A family glued to screens can implement one device-free hour every evening. A busy parent trying to do it all can practice delegating, asking for support, and resting without guilt. Small changes create psychological revolutions. The truth is, Western society has created a world where people have everything except the one thing they need most: connection. And connection is the foundation of human psychology. As the psychologist Alfred Adler said, all human failures result from a lack of love and connection. When connection weakens, people seek substitutes, shopping, working, scrolling, comparing. But these substitutes never feed the emotional hunger within. Yet, despite all these flaws, Western society is not hopeless. In fact, Acknowledging these cracks is the first step toward change. And change begins with understanding, with awareness, with the willingness to challenge the norms we inherited, with the courage to redefine success not as a race to the top, but as a journey toward meaning, balance, and well-being. Imagine a society where people slow down long enough to feel alive, where beauty is defined by authenticity, where mental health is treated as essential, not optional, where communities rebuild what consumerism has destroyed, where progress is measured not only in dollars, but in happiness, empathy, and psychological resilience. The flaws of the Western world are not signs of failure. They are signs of transformation waiting to happen. And that transformation begins when people recognize that the human mind was never designed to thrive alone, compete endlessly, or be judged by external standards. It was designed to connect, to create, to grow, and to find meaning beyond material things. The Western world may shine brightly, but true happiness, as psychology shows us again and again, comes from the inside, from connection, purpose, compassion, and balance. And those are values that every society, East or West, can choose to embrace. If this video helped you understand Western society even a little deeper, support the journey. Like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more insights.